Welcome back to Platinum Hunters Extra, the show where we cover everything trophies related. That's not the actual episodes themselves. And we got our second Platinum Hunters Extra episode of the week, as we did one breaking down PlayStation Stars 2 months into the rewards program and seeing if it's actually good, which, a little spoiler from the episode, I thought, yeah, it's pretty good. Check that out if you haven't, but we're breaking down the PlayStation Plus games for December, and this month is absolutely fire because these games that they're putting out are pretty awesome. You got the Mass Effect Legendary Edition, which is all 3 games. So Mass Effect 1, which has been revamped in this collection, and Mass Effect 2, which is honestly one of the best games I played during the PS3 era, and Mass Effect 3, which I haven't played yet, and I know is a little divisive because of the ending, but I think that game is awesome as well. So you got that 1, 2, 3 punch of Mass Effect games here, so that's already 3 games and 3 plats that you can have. Plus you add in Biomutant, which I was about to buy on sale recently, and thankfully they give you both versions of the game, so you can play the PS5 and PS4 version. And then there's a new kid on the block with this game called Divine Knockout that looks cool. It looks like Smash Bros, but in a 3D space, so you're knocking people off the platform, you're accumulating percents, but it's 3D. Interesting. That looks pretty cool. Looks like it's right up my alley. It is an online game, so if you don't like online games at all, then this is probably not for you, but otherwise I think this is a very stellar month. So let's go and check out these trophy guides, and I'll tell you at the end which games you're probably going to see on the channel. We are starting here with Mass Effect 1 and that Platinum trophy. Now, if you're familiar with the PS3 version and that plat, all the PS3 versions of all 3 of these games, you had to play on the hardest difficulty, which often had to be unlocked unless you continued your save transfer from one to the other, going all the way up from 1 to 3, then you can do it in one playthrough. But now you still need to beat the hardest difficulty, but only if you're going for 100% trophy completion, as they moved that trophy and put it in a separate trophy set that you can beat if you want, if you're going to go for 100% completion. You still have those trophies where you do need to play missions with your new allies, and you still have to be very careful with certain things you do in the game because there are a lot of missable trophies in general. So you do have to be very careful, and you do have to play these things in a certain order. As you can see down below here, complete 5 missions with the Alliance Soldier Squad member, complete 5 missions with the Krogan ally, and you have to do these before you get to the point of no return. As well, you can lose party members. Yes, if you're aware of Mass Effect, you know a certain someone who you can lose and you won't have them on your team anymore. So yeah, a guide is very much needed for all 3 of these games in general, but I'm using this one as an example. There are a lot of biotic power milestones that you need to use, and there's a bunch of trophies for that, and the rest is kind of just beating the game. And as well, you do need to make sure that you have 75% of your points in either the Paragon side or the Renegade side. And in a game like Infamous, it's very apparent which one is which. In this one, not so much. There's obvious times where it's clear cut. You do this, you get Renegade points. You do this, you get Paragon points. And there is dialogue that will give you Paragon points and Renegade points. But some situations are kind of gray, and unless you know ahead of time which one will give you what points, then you can make a mistake and lose out on those points. But I'm bigging up this Platinum a lot, but lots of people do have it and do it in one go. So it can be done, you just have to be a little bit careful. Same thing with Mass Effect 2. You have a lot of the same similar things that you have to worry about. There is a point of no return where you can miss out on certain trophies, especially when it comes to recruiting your team. You can miss out on having them as part of your team when you get to the final mission, and that's where you can miss a lot of trophies. And then there's a lot of other trophies you can get for going to certain places and doing certain things. You're kind of on a time limit in this game because certain things will be missable if you don't make certain decisions in time. So again, there is a little bit of knowing what to do as part of this game, because you can miss trophies and have to play a second playthrough. And this one is longer than the last game. I remember when I was going for the Mass Effect 2 Plat on the PS3, I spent a lot more time in this game than I did the first one. And without spoiling too much, there is a way you can fuck up in the final mission and miss out on some more trophies. I think out of all three of these, this is the one where you'll miss the most if you're not careful. Mass Effect 3 seems a lot more lenient when it comes to this stuff, and it seems like it's easier to navigate through without missing a ton of trophies. You still can, there's still some missable trophies, but there's way less than the other two games, and it seems like it's more of a easier time to collect all the trophies from this game. It does say 2 playthroughs here, but if you scroll through the guide, it does say that you need to use New Game Plus to level up one of your weapons to level 10. I don't think you can do it properly within regular play, or it might be faster if you just go into New Game Plus and level the gun up that way. But it's all one playthrough, just like the first two, and it seems like it's way easier to get this one than the other two. But at the end of the day, don't let these missable trophies deter you from playing these games. All three of them are excellent. I can't recommend the third one because I haven't played it yet, but from what people say, it's just as excellent as the other two, so it's definitely worth playing. I am excited to be playing Mass Effect 3 for the first time. Oh, and one thing I forgot to mention, this has no multiplayer, so there's no multiplayer trophies to worry about. This is just the story mode you have to worry about, and do that. Then we get into Biomutant, which seems like more of your standard open world kind of plat, except it's much smaller than its contemporaries like Horizon Zero Dawn, which takes about 40 plus hours, or even God of War, which takes about 40 plus hours, even though that's not fully open world. Definitely this takes less time to do than most Ubisoft plats, which will have you 40 plus, doing 100% completion of all the map marker stuff that they usually put in those games. I'm looking at you, Valhalla. But there are a bunch of trophies related to your abilities, related to your weaponry, which can be upgraded, or related to various things that you can upgrade and various things in the environment. There's a lot of trophies there. There's a section of the guide that says grindy stuff, so even though this is only 30 hours long, there's still a bit of grindy things to do, according to this. So, okay. If you don't like open world games, or you're on a current open world fatigue, then maybe this might not be for you. I like the subject matter a lot. I think it's pretty neat. And I really want to jump into this game and play it. And there's also missable trophies in here, so it looks like you have to make a manual save before you take on the 4 bosses, which apparently those trophies are missable. And thank God, one of the reasons I didn't play this game at launch, even though I wanted to, is because there were bugged, glitched, whatever you want to call it, trophies. If there's one thing that will stop me from playing a game and covering it on this channel, is because there are glitched trophies. I don't got time to deal with that shit, so I'm very, very careful about picking games, especially if they have glitched trophies. But now, playing this game, a year and change removed, they fixed all this, and they made a ton of improvements to the game too. So arguably, this is the best time. If you're interested in playing this game, this is the best time to play it. Then we got Divine Knockout, this 3D Smash Bros. Game. There are 20 trophies for this thing, and they look like they're kind of milestone related. Some people are getting some of these trophies right now pretty easily, like 60% here. There are trophies that are 0% currently, so I imagine that there is a high milestone for some of these, like Triple KO's gold. It's at 0%, therefore nobody has the platinum quite yet. Then you also got Victorious Gold. I think this is probably for wins, so nobody's gotten to the win threshold yet. And it's all these achieve this, achieve that kind of trophies. They're all milestone related. This looks like it's gonna be your more simple online grind out the criteria, the milestone, grind it out and beat that. But the game looks really cool. I think that as long as this game's supported properly, which it's a high-res studios game, so you have things like Smite and Paladins that have been supported forever. As long as this thing sticks around, it's probably a good one to go and get, and you can kind of do a couple matches, play something else for a little bit, or if you're really invested, just go ham in getting these. We won't know how long it's going to take to get these until someone actually gets the plat, so I can't really say how much the time investment into this game is. I don't even know what the milestones are, like what is Triple KO's gold, how many KOs is it? We won't know for now until somebody gets a trophy guide out or somebody shares this information after they get the platinum themselves. So that is our new games for December coming to PlayStation Plus Essential, and honestly, I'm pretty bullish about a lot of these games coming to the channel. You can pretty much guarantee that at some point before they put out Mass Effect 4, at least 1, 2, and 3 will be done. If I have extra time, I will do Andromeda. But at least Mass Effect 1, Mass Effect 2, and Mass Effect 3 will be coming to the channel for sure before Mass Effect 4 drops. Biomutant, I've really wanted to play this game, and I think I will be trying to play it this holiday season if nothing else decides to bump it out of the spot. I have one other game that I'm playing right now that I want to finish, but after that it's kind of open season as to what I might want to play, and I might put Biomutant in that spot. Seems like it'll be a fun 30 hours with these fuzzy little dudes with weapons. And then Divine KO, I definitely want to try this out, and I want to see how grindy this plat will be. If it's not a 80-hour affair to get the platinum trophy, then I will do it. As long as it's not like a crazy amount of time, I think I'll try and do it and see if I can put a guide out for that. So the likelihood of these 3 games, I have them on screen right now, are much higher than previous months. Even the last one, Divine KO, is still much higher than previous months. I still want to do the winner of the poll that I put out on the community tab relatively soon. It's looking like it might be Ratchet and Clank. I definitely want to get to that and not waste time on that. So definitely subscribe for more awesome trophy guide videos that I've got cooking. As I mentioned in the last video, next week will be God of War Ragnarok. That will be the trophy guide touching down on Tuesdays, so definitely look out for that on the Tuesday. I release it at 11 EST, and I hope you guys enjoy that video and everything that it offers. I hope all your trophy hunting expeditions in space with alien or non-alien romance options goes incredibly well, and peace